Hey, Schuyler here, founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness. Our goal is to help get you in the best shape of your life holistically and sustainably. And in today's video, we are going to be interviewing one of our wonderful clients, Miss Emily. Emily was able to lose 46 pounds, and her story is a really cool one. She comes from the lifestyle of dieting, and she had a pretty amazing transformation along the way. So we're going to get into the video. If at any point you are sick of the diet yo-yo and you're looking to map out what a sustainable plan looks like and to see if working together to get you there would be a good fit, make sure you head down below this video to grab a complimentary consultation. On that call, we will be going into your specific lifestyle, your struggles, and mapping out what that exact plan looks like. So head down below. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy the interview. What is up, everybody? Today we have the wonderful Miss Emily. Emily absolutely crushed her time in our fat loss program. She is 46 pounds down over the course of about a year. And I think the best part about you, Emily, is like, number one, your consistency was incredible. But number two, like, you really took on the mindset of sustainability. You didn't go the route of just like cutting corners. And I'll just share a quick story. Your first week, you did like so much fasting and you barely ate. And I just like push you a little bit in a better direction of eating more, fasting a little bit less. And like ever since that week, it's just been consistency, go, go, go. So I would love to hear a little bit about where you were before you reached out. And then we can get into what working together was like.
Yeah, that sounds great. Before I found Reach, I was hustling on a lot of fronts in my life. You know, I was working really hard to establish a business, and fortunately my business grew really fast, and it was a really exciting time. But it was like drinking from the fire hose. There was just so many unexpected factors in my life. And what I found was that like over the course of developing my business, like also, you know, like moving into a house and maintaining a property kind of for the first time in my life was just so full. And I realized that I had kind of unintentionally crowded out my health and specifically my fitness. And, you know, exercise and like staying fit has always been a part of my life. But it was just something that I kind of dropped because so many other things were going on in my life. And things, you know, continued to stay busy. And I finally, you know, I've gotten coaching for my business and, you know, have gotten coaching for my finances. And I was like, why am I not outsourcing any of the work that has to do with my health? Like, because I just didn't have the capacity to program my own workouts. I didn't even really feel like I had the knowledge to do that. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I need to be coached in this area of my life, because why am I coaching in kind of these peripheral things and getting help with these other things, but this thing that's so central to my life and my flourishing as a human being, I'm dropping the ball consistently. And so that's when I found Reach and scheduled a consult call with Schuyler. And and then we talked, I think, when I was on a trip in Colorado. And just from the first moment we chatted, I really appreciated your emphasis on sustainability. And I knew that this program wasn't a quick fix. And that's exactly what I needed. And so it was just so easy to commit to and so easy to say yes to and so easy to continue saying yes to for the next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great that you had that superpower of having invested in yourself in the past, because I feel like a lot of people, if it's their first investment, it's like a little nerve-wracking. With that said, were you coming in from like the moment you knew you wanted to change, you reached out or you looked for a coach, or was it like, had you tried a couple times in the past and not been successful?
I mean, I would say honestly that I've been dieting on and off since I was like 16 or 17 years old, which is terrible and, you know, kind of like a very modern tragic thing, because I think for a lot of women especially, like that pressure starts early and the pressure that you put on yourself starts really early. And you know, I just didn't really have the resources to know better when I started down that path. And so it was, you know, losing weight and trying to get really fit was something that I've, you know, had a relationship with since I was a teenager. And I definitely, in the couple of years leading up to reaching out to you, you know, had tried just kind of white knuckling it. Because again, like I had some knowledge, but it was the implementation of the knowledge with all the other factors in my life that I just couldn't seem to nail down. So I had tried to kind of DIY myself into change. and just wasn't having that much success. And then it was like a light bulb moment where I was like, wait a minute, why am I trying to DIY this? And when there are so many other case studies in my life for how good it is to say, I need some help with this. And so once I like even opened my mind to the idea of like, oh, wait a minute, I could hire a coach for the gym. I could hire a coach to like help me with my health. At that point, and then when I found you, I was like all in, ready to commit. I'm a very like 100% person. So the frustration leading up to it built for a while. But when I finally realized that I could get some help with this and that I needed to desperately get some help with it, it was like all in.
Yeah. And it felt like that. It felt like the first few weeks, like you were just on, like there was no learning period. I feel like a lot of people can come in, and if it's new to them, I call it the baby giraffe era, where they're just like learning how to walk on their own with these big lanky legs. Did you feel like you had any of that, or was it like pretty simple to take on from the beginning?
I would say like the clunkiness that I experienced had to do more with shifting my mental game around health and fitness, for sure. Like a lot of kind of the exterior structure, as far as like, I had lifted before, like I knew how to get in the gym. And I knew how to be more mindful with what I was putting in my mouth in terms of eating. And I was already eating in a way that I would say was fairly clean. But the mental game around all of that, putting it all together and kind of swapping that all or nothing mindset for a sustainability mindset, like allowing myself to be all in on the process, but patient in terms of like recognizing that I was changing my entire life, because like the habits that I have now as compared to 2 years ago, like it is a different life.
Yeah.
And I love this life. It feels like such a good fit. But I would definitely say like the mind game of going from someone who, had been doing the Atkins diet or low carb or, 1,200 calories a day, like going from a person who had done that for 20 years to a person who, acted in a way that was congruent with a sustainable life and like a sustainable life pattern that I can do until I'm 80, 90.
Yeah.
That was a clunky process for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you took it on, you crushed it. Was there anything you didn't expect? Because I feel like a lot of people have like an idea of what fat loss looks like or what a diet is or anything. Like, was there anything in the program, whether it's like the fasting or anything else that we did that you were surprised about or, just didn't expect in general?
I think I didn't expect to fall so in love with the process of building muscle. That was, in the beginning especially, it was like, just lose the weight. Like, I've got to lose the weight. And like, I felt so chubby when I started, and I was. So it's like, that was my driver, was like, oh, I don't feel good. Like, I don't feel good in my clothes. I don't feel like I look good. And like, what I didn't expect was to fall in love with the process of progressive overload and with the little muscles that start to pop out when you devote yourself to lifting heavy weights for, years at a time. And I love that. Like, that's been such like an honestly delightful surprise, because that's something that I can fall in love with long term. And like that has really helped me kind of anchor my mind, even in terms of my approach. I feel like loving muscle and like loving the process of building muscle is in itself a much more sustainable thing than loving a certain number on the scale or loving, a certain size in my clothes. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's cool. That stuff has been rewarding as well. But like, it's the love for building muscle and strength and like what that gives me in my life and my energy that, I mean, I think it's the brilliance of how your program is structured. Like, I have fallen in love with that. And like, I know that I have years ahead of me to keep falling in love with that. And that has been such a fun surprise.
It's so cool. And you've gotten so strong too. Like, even coming out to Phoenix and hitting pistol squats.
Yeah.
And, like, hitting 225 on RDL, like, you are strong, and you've really taken on that identity of like someone who's fit, someone who takes care of themselves.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
great.
totally. It's never just about the physical, like, and I feel like I've spent so much time in the last 2 years or almost 2 years learning about that, where it's like you think I thought I was starting the program because I wanted to drop weight and it would be nice to be stronger, but every aspect of my life has changed. I'm more confident. I'm more confident in my person. I'm more confident in my business. I have more capacity to handle growth. And, your body is a reflection of your soul and what's going on the inside of you. And to have those things be more in line, more congruent, has just brought me a measure of freedom that has been a big surprise to me too. Just to learn how much my physical practice translates into a healthier life on every level.
Yeah, it's epic. Let's go. So more confident, showing up better, and you've been out of the program now for a couple months at least, right?
Yeah.
And you're still cruising along, feeling good.
Yeah, still feeling really good and able to I was just thinking about this last week. The habits are just so different that, before when you think about a diet mentality, there's always the fear of like you're going to gain the weight back and like you're going to fall off, if you're eating 1200 calories a day, 1500 calories a day, or you are only eating these certain things and you never eat these other things. It's just a matter of time. It's like, how long can I go with this kind of white knuckling kind of discipline, rigidity that doesn't really allow me to live the kind of life that I want? And now it's like, I'll still have kind of what I call like old brain thoughts where it's like, oh, what if I've gained a bunch of weight this week? And what I can say to myself is, how? You've been doing the exact same thing. Like your routine is locked in. You've been to the gym 5 times. Like you PR'd on this week, or you maintained at this, or you got an extra rep here. And like you hit your fast, or your fasts and like you ate whole foods and you're in the pocket. And so it's like that measure of, again, sustainability and just like, it's not a diet. It's like now it's just my life. And so it's not white knuckling maintenance anymore.
That I think highlights like how actually important it is to do the mindset work, because you fully took that on.
Yeah.
Like fully took that on of just doing the practices of transforming your mind. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is they do the external, which is great for the short term, but you sustain that through working on the internal.
Yeah.
What do you think was the most helpful for you on the mindset side?
I really appreciated how from the get-go, like Reach pushed me to consider what elements of my identity were out of line with my daily practice. And so, we set those identity pillars like day 1, week 1, like it's one of the first things we do in the program. And so to think about there are outcome goals, but I think that's one of the things that makes your program so unique is that it is so fixed on identity because, aligning our daily practice with the identity we want to have, even if we're not excelling in those areas when we start the program, that's what drives real change. And so for me, just continuing to come back to those pillars of like, who do I want to be? And I mean, choosing those words, choosing those identity markers, like that was what allowed me to stick with things long term. I mean, the first word I picked, one of the first identity markers I picked was sovereignty. And that's such a heady, that's not a word you necessarily affiliate with going to the gym or a physical practice. But it was very important to me to be able to, understand that, that sense of sovereignty as it expressed itself in every part of my life, including my physical practice. And so I just think your emphasis on establishing those identity pillars early and, also giving really excellent guidelines on what that looks like and how to do that through the program and going through the course, that stuff it was so in cement so early in the program that then it made adherence to that really easy and really central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no doubts that you're going to maintain this for good. Yeah. So if you had one piece of advice for someone looking to get fit, what would it be?
Ooh, just start. Just start. You don't have to start perfectly. You don't have to have the perfect plan when you go into the gym. You don't have to have, a vision for exactly how it's going to go when you reach out, when you start to reach out for help. Just start. If you need to start with help, start with help. Get into this program. But imperfect action wins every time over theoretical action. So wherever you're at in terms of fitness or fat loss or just wanting to elevate your physical practice to align with who you want to be, just start. Yeah.
Epic. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hey, thank you so much for watching that interview. I hope that you had some very positive insights and that you are ready to continue your fat loss journey. If you are struggling to lose fat or you are looking for guidance or accountability, I'm going to invite you to check out below this video in the description. We've got a free application page where we are offering fat loss roadmaps. You can click on that page, you can watch the video to learn a little bit more about what we do, and then if it feels like a good fit, you can grab a time to chat. So head down below this video, check that out. Besides that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.